Hey everybody, it's Galvadex, and welcome back to another traditional best of three draft of Tarkir Dragonstorm. Without further ado, let's get into our pack one, pick one, which is a really strong pack here. Definitely a contentious first pick. I am sure there are many people who would go with different options out of this pack because there is the Sonic Shrieker. This is my favorite of these cards, despite it being three color, because it's just an excellent 2-for-1 no matter what. 4/4 flyer plus clear out one of their 2 toughness or less creatures, or drain them for 2 life and make them discard a card. That's also a really nice 2-for-1 in the format. So I really like this card, and I think it plays super well as your top end in like Boros, Aggro, Splashing Black, or in like your 4 or 5 color Dragons deck. So I think it's much more flexible than it looks for a 3 color card. The problem is there's 2 really strong monocolor cards here, Tygam and Rally the Monastery as well. So those are the ones that are like really in competition there with the Sonic Shrieker that I think are super viable options. But I'm just going to lean into the powerful multicolor spell here and start with the Sonic Shrieker. Pick number 2, there's a Smile at Death here, which is kind of slow for a really aggressive deck, because you play it for 5 mana and then don't get anything onto your board with it until the turn after you play it. And it also only works in a really aggressive deck, so I haven't been overly impressed with it, albeit I've only played it like the one time. I don't think I'm taking that here. There's a Mammoth Bellow, a Sibsig Appraiser, a Fresh Start. All the best cards in this pack aren't really in Mardu, seeing as I just don't really consider Smile at Death to be one of the best cards in this pack. I think I'm just going to go Sibsig Appraiser, just really solid cheap value play. All right, pick number 3, continue taking incredible tricolor dragons and just make it work later. Another blue-based dragon control deck here, potentially. 2 very multicolored dragons right off the bat. So Dragonstorm Globes would be really high picks, but as well as any other fixing, like if we go green, go full 5 color and use cards like Saga Wildling to fix. But the Jeskai Shrinekeeper, another incredible 2-for-1 dragon. Sometimes this can even be a 3 or 4-for-1. The longer it sticks out, the more cards it draws, the farther ahead you get. Pick number 4. There's really nothing useful for 4 or 5 color in this pack. There's not a lot useful in this pack for anybody, but I do like Rebellious Strike and aggro. Pretty far from that right now. I guess the nice off-ramp here, the nice backup plan is that both of our dragons are in Boros. So we can go Boros Splash Black or Boros Splash Blue aggro. So just take the best card in the pack, just a good aggro card. I don't even think these are great aggro cards. They're just fine, like Bearer of Glory, Underdogs, Rebellious Strike. Yeah, it's a pretty unimpressive pack. I'll just take a Bearer of Glory there. Pick number 5. All right, Channel Dragonfire is another really nice card here. Because again, with both of our dragons being in Boros, this can fit into the Boros aggro deck, splashing in something else, or it can fit into the slower, more controlling version of this build. Pick 6. A bunch of terrible commons. An incredibly slow uncommon and an unplayable rare. What a sick pack. We'll take a Jungle Hollow there. Pick 7 is way better. I'll take the Fresh Start here, I think, over the Piercing Exhale, as we don't have a single actually green card yet. Defibrillating Current is fine too. I like Fresh Start a lot better as removal, but Current does have better colors for us. 2 Boros Dragons, a white card and a red card. Yeah, that's tempting. It's much better colors, but a worse spell overall. Actually take a Defibrillating Current. Pick 8. Nothing spicy here. We take a Rugged Highlands, I suppose. Pick 9. I like Ice Ridge Serpent for lower decks that are touching blue. Blossoming Sands doesn't look like a super good duel. Could also take Roamer's Routine towards green as the base. Pick 10. Very mediocre pack here. This feels a lot more difficult than our last traditional draft pod. The good cards are definitely getting scooped up fast here. Some really filler looking packs in the end. Guess I'm just on a Brushmaster. Highly unlikely anything we take there gets played. Okay. Not a wonderful end to pack 1 here. We're looking for a lot of specific stuff out of pack 2. Voice of Victory. Okay. Incredible White Aggro Rare. Flamehold Grappler is also good, but requires the 3 colors. I don't think it's as oppressively strong as Voice of Victory can be when you just curve out with that card. This is gonna be... It's gonna be a heck of a draft here. I don't think the card quality was really high enough in any color to be super committed to anything yet. I'm gonna take this Voice of Victory. Okay, Static Snare, great white removal spell that's gonna play really well for aggro or for splashy 4 or 5 color. We take that. I don't really want to count 100 Battle Veteran as any reason to be looking towards black, or Nest Guard as any reason to be looking towards green. Brushmaster's not really a reason to be excited about Jeskai either, so I'm going to put the reasons to be excited here on the left, and then the filler stuff on the right, I think. Something like this. Alright, Static Snare, come on in. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 good white spells, a couple solid filler. So white's getting pretty likely. Rennie's rebuff is great. Windscarred Crag is fine. Twin Bolt's a little filler. Almost never put it in my deck because there's just so much beef in its format. I think rebuff is just the best card by far, but Evolving Wilds is a pretty safe pick. I like our blue a lot. Maybe safe picks are for cowards. I'm taking Urani's rebuff. No, should take the safe pick. Zergo and Frontline Rush. Jeez. Jeez. And those are the best cards by a lot. Zergo, Frontline Rush, and Sharpshooter. All good Mardu cards. I've got a lot of good blue here and a Shrine Keeper I can splash, and I almost want to take one of the non-Zergo cards so that I have the option of Boros Splash Blue as well. Okay, I clicked too late. We took Zergo. And now pick 5. There's a Forecaster. There have been 0 globes, though. Nobody is passing the globes around. So, Jeskai Devotee. It is moving towards Boros now. Splash into black. Basically need every pick to make it because of how much we've danced around with our colors now. So I need every single pick from now on to be relevant, so it cannot be Kish the Skimmer. It's Bloodfell Caves or Skyrider. I think there was one other decent option, the like 5 mana dragon there. Pick 7 Mardu Devotee. That is beautiful. This is one of the best possible ways to actually be casting cards like Zergo on turn 3, and these are the kind of cards that are just devastatingly impressive on turn 3 and pretty mediocre later. Rescue Leopard's fine here. Shock Brigade is excellent here. Let's go. Everything's going to work out in the end. We're going to be fine. I only need like 11 more playables. That's so easy to do, right? I mean, when the draft pod's like this, I guess it is. There's a bear and a rescue leopard. Definitely prefer bearer in Boros for the buffs on the whole board with the wide board state. Effigy, if I get cards that care about flurrying, that'll be pretty good. So maybe what's happened in this draft pod is that we have like 5 or 6 players on the 4 or 5 color decks here. And so it's been really hard to read the signals because good cards just being taken in every color. And so this kind of just Mardu pile is kind of the best spot we can be. Yeah, nice late river wheel sweep that is perfectly playable in here. Okay, Duty Beyond Death, Shock Brigade, Narset's Rebuke. I've already got 2, 3, 4, 5 2-drops. I like trying the Duty Beyond Death here. I've heard some great things in the comments about the card. Sarkin is pretty awesome. I guess you kind of need dragons to make him good. I only have the one. He could help splash in this the Shrine Keeper I have in the sideboard right now. I don't think there's anything else that's really gonna be that good in this deck anyway, unless we just splash in a Marshall, which is fine. Rebellious Strike also fine. I'm just gonna go for it with Sarkin here. Pick 3. I don't mind Riling Dawnbreaker. I've played in a lot of Boros decks before. I enjoy it. 2 mana 2/2 on curve, or it's your top end dragon. It makes Sarkin a lot better. Pick number 4, Stormplane Detainment looks pretty excellent. But Descent of the Storms is nasty work, though. And Equilibrium Adept? We are in the right colors. I probably took enough random little removal early to go for Descendant here. Heart is sick, and there's not a lot of great 1-drops. Another Devotee, that is the great 1-drop. Another Defibrillating Current. Yeah, nothing else there. I only need 2 more playables. Got an absolute deck on our hands. This has panned out so much better than I thought was possible at all here. With a Sarkin, I think I'm going Stormshriek Feral. Yeah, I've got 6 other 2-mana creatures. Pass up on the 7th. Tactician and Battle Priest are both a little bit slow, but decent. I'm gonna go Battle Priest because I don't have to splash in for it. Pick 9. Creature count here, 17. Take the spell. Over Practitioner. Yeah, I'll take the spell. Alright, it's this and 16 lands now. Looks beautiful to me. I might play Rescue Leopard over the 4th 5-drop. Yeah, I'll play Rescue Leopard over the 4th 5-mana play. All right. Pivot into a kind of streamlined Mardu deck here. Boros aggro at the core. Looks solid to me. Just need to cut a land here, and we've got a deck. I only have 2 cards that need black mana, but I would really prefer to play Zurgo actually on curve, so I still want to have the black sources be pretty high. Multiple Mardu devotees that can fix for white or red, so I think I'm going to cut the red here and keep the white at 8 for those Mardu devotees. Yeah, looks great to me. See if we can't outrace the big, spooky 4/5 color monstrosities that this format is so well known for, and be the Boros aggro menace. We'll see how it all plays out for us as we hop into the gameplay. All right, here we are on the draw for game 1. Our opponent takes the mulligan here. We'll keep this. We don't have the 2-drop in the hand, but maybe Mardu Devotee can scry into it. Get the full curve out. Double mulligan from our opponent with their... Is that a Trotta? Sweeps? I think it's a Trotta. That's weird, because the original Atrata artwork was like so different from that. Yeah, that is Atrata. Well, we drew our 2-drop now. It's a 2-mana 2 with no abilities, but it's still a curve out, which is important. Oh, I lied. Drawn to Voice of Victory now. Ditch the current here so I can work my way up to 5 mana on the curve for the Rebuke and the Dawnbreaker. Yeah, we got a way better 2-drop now. Our opponent's also on red. They are also on Boros, so Boros mirror match. Here we go. Here's Voice of Victory. Pass. If we draw spells throughout this curve, then the potential to Rebuke plus Leopard in the same turn is kind of sick. There's their own Devotee. They got their third land. They did miss their third land. Oh, now I have a Sonic Shrieker. We are all in on drawing mana here. So we're going to rescue Leopard away this Dawnbreaker probably. Sonic Shrieker is really, really nice in the mirror match. They should have plenty of cards for us to kill with it. Boltcaster. Alright, put that on my notepad. Missed the land drop. No, I can't attack into the 3/3 body either. It's actually awkwardly good in this matchup. Boltcaster is the kind of card that I've been really down on recently because it's pretty horrible against 4 and 5 color. Because you're just not getting into actual combat that much. They're just throwing removal spells at your nonsense in the early game instead of blocking. But it's really good in the mirror match. Okay, oh god, a pack beasts. That's a lot of critters. That is another non-land draw. Have this Rescue Leopard trade into Boltcaster here, and I can current the pack beasts, I guess. I think I need to current the pack beasts. Probably have to ditch Narset's Rebuke at this point, because the mana is just not there. But I guess neither is it there for Dawnbreaker. Yeah, I'll get rid of Dawnbreaker. There we go. Rebuke it at least lets me go like rebuke their best threat and play Skyrider in the same turn. If we keep these two together. Reigning Victor, hello and welcome to the board. That'll be our rebuke target, I guess. Again, the 3/3 body kind of gross. It's so funny a 3/3 is big in this matchup. Okay. Yeah, let's go Skyride first. And see if we can draw removal on the weaker card. Because we are pressuring our opponent quite a bit here. Getting more damage in than they are. There's land 4. And they just concede. That was fast. I was still worried there. You know, they just have their own, like, Sonic Shrieker or something. And, they have potentially, like, threatening later game plays. I guess they just really did not have anything in the hand. I mean, they didn't play that till turn 4. It had to be spell. Weird. Alright, I mean, we take those, I guess. Twin Bolt is not horrible in the mirror. Although, I mean, even in the mirror match, 0-4, 3-3, 1-3. This is why Twin Bolt is so bad. Like, even the Boros, the Mardu aggro, like, you're just not killing anything. Unless you've already dealt damage, in which case it's just like an awful combat trick. I think I just run it back. I don't have a particularly big sideboard here. I kind of went so far into the 5 color early, and then got pushed off of that to where any picks we could have had devoted towards sideboarding and moving things around went out the window, because they're all just off-color cards at this point. Alright, game number 2. Pretty great hand. A little bit slow for this matchup, especially on the draw, but I think these are powerful ways to stabilize. I'm really just the Sonic Shrieker. but the other dragon as well is fine. If nothing else, we can use it to make sure we're drawing into lands. Oh my god, they keep a one-lander? Rough. Our opponent is not having a good day of Magic. I can tell you that much. Already got my 5 mana, so scry away anymore. Sarkhan's actually a pretty decent draw with both, not both, but 2 dragons in hand. There's actually 3 dragons in the deck, I believe. Yeah, there's 3 dragons in the deck. Stormbrood the Brigade. Fair. Behold. There's their Shock Brigade. That's too big for Sonic Shrieker to kill, so I'm just going to haste damage in them. Alright. They are over it. Rough mana draws are going to just get them out of the game real quick, and we start off 1-0, a victory in round number 1. Alright, here we are on the draw for round number 2, game number 1 against Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Oh no, it's Scooby-Doo-Doo. Okay, well that's even better. The one big risk this hand is no red source. We immediately draw another red card, which is awkward, but the white spells in the hand are really strong, and they're all 2 mana or less. They're not really strong. Voice of Victory is really strong. I'm going to play around the Dispelling Exhale here and lead with Bearer of Glory over Voice of Victory. 1 less damage, but make sure that our Great Rare doesn't just immediately get countered. Tawny back. Alright. Our first 2 draws, by the way, have both been red spells now, so really, really rough. Okay. 3 non-lands in a row, 2 of which are the color we don't have. Not a wonderful start. Get to receive a little bit of that pain that our last opponent had. Our mana is not being polite. Yep, and now missing land drops here, especially missing out on a whole color. We are not going to be able to pressure our opponent enough to keep them off of just playing their big 7-8 mana bomb rares and mythics that they can use to win the game in the 4 and 5 color decks. There's Mardu Devotee to finally have the red source, but wow, okay. 2 more non-lands. This is getting really bad. At least we got to scry those to the bottom. It's actually the one I'm the happiest with them bouncing, because it is by far the easiest to recast. Unless they like play an island after this, and then have the counter spell up and just counter it. Alright. Let's get exhaled. Oh wait, they can't, because we have the Voice of Victory anyway. Okay, double bounce. That makes a lot more sense. That they would bounce both then. What is going on, deck? Alright. Scry 2. There's 1 more land. It's another Plains. And the worst part about it is every single spell in the hand costs 3 or less. Like, how do you get mana screwed when everything's 3 or less mana? That's crazy. Just some cosmic justice for that free victory in round 1. Give our opponent a free victory for game 1 of this round. Obviously, could have played it out differently going for the mulligan there, but I thought this was a reasonable keep here. Bearer of Glory, Voice of Victory, Dawnbreaker, all castable, 2 lands. For all of them. We had, I think the Skyrider was in the opener as well. I could be wrong about that one. But it was at least 3 castable spells off of just the lands that the hand already had. Just need to play the biggest block. I just need to play a 2/2. It does look like they're a pure teamer, rather than splashing in a 4th or 5th color. But there's still plenty of really, really powerful top end in that clan. Alright, now they have an 8 power trampler. Not quite lethal on board yet. I believe rebuff makes it lethal though. 3, 4, 5. They don't have the mana to rebuff without tapping somebody. If they can rebuff without tapping somebody, we're dead on board. Okay, we go to 1. Forced jump. Oh, gross. Plus the dragon? Sure. Alright, well, completely free game for our opponent. We just didn't even play Magic, really. 0-1 in round number 2. I think this matchup is winnable, but we need to get the efficient curve out early. Their creatures are mostly 3 toughness again. Scariest thing we saw really was the monastery to draw a bunch of cards in the late game. They do have good stuff to slow us down. The rebuff, the serpent kind of cards. Yep, don't really have a sideboard for this, just hope to get some better mana this time around. Probably have to mulligan more aggressively. Alright, here we are on the play. Both of our main colors. No mana for the Zurgo is rough, and then Duty Beyond Death is also really bad in this hand if we don't draw into more creatures. This is awkward, but it has better mana here. And it's got the curve now, 2-drop into 3-drop at least. Our opponent starts with their Gruul mana, green and red. Formation Breaker, sure. I imagine they just take the trade here. I'm not going to Dragonfire to save my 2/2. I will Dragonfire next turn to get the Leopard in, though. Okay, they do take the trade. That's fine with me. Gets my Leopard down now, so we can immediately start digging for black sources for Zurgo. Zurgo is really nice with Duty Beyond Death. If we don't find the black source till we have 5 mana, having both of these up at the same time could be really strong. I think I ditched the 5-drop here over the plains. So that again I can try to make it to 5 mana. To go Zurgo plus Duty Beyond Death. It feels a little awkward to just slam down the 2/2 there instead of holding for the 5-drop, but if I hold for the 5-drop, I'm not putting anything on the board this turn, which is not fun. Oh no, a Channel Dragonfire and a rebuff in their grave? Those are really, really good defensive Harmonize spells to slow us down here and stop this early pressure. But there's the Zurgo with the Duty Beyond Death, baby. That's exactly what I was looking for. They just have the counter unless we pay 4. They've got that plus Dragon in hand. So they can't counter without the dragon, at least. Goodbye, Leopard, I guess. I think that's worth doing here, because they have Dragon Hunt and Rebuff anyway. There's an argument for not attacking with Leopard, but we definitely send in the 2/2 token. Just send the 2/2 token in. That would have been insane if Zurgo had haste there, but then it would just be like busted in half. Okay, so they're going to tap out to kill the Leopard now. In which case I can hit for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Put them to 4 life next turn if I sack the 2/2 instead. think that's worth it. So I only need to hit them for like 2 more damage now for Dragonfire to get the final lethal. And unless they have the mythic rare Dragon Tempest thing that deals 3 to all creatures, don't see how they can stop us from dealing 2 with this wide board state. It definitely involves killing Zergo. If they don't kill Zergo, that's 3 attackers by himself. Dragonstorm, draw 2, discard 1. And they concede. They did have that as Dispelling Exhale the whole time, so really happy we had the 2 up by the time we cast the Zergo there. Yeah, some fine filler, mediocre early creatures from our opponent to try to defend themselves. Cheap removal. Really does feel like a matchup that is dependent on getting that early curve out, so... Man, I hate that we just threw game 1 in the trash. Because that means now we're going to have to win a game on the draw and hope for another good, quick curve out here to stand a chance, but we'll see how it plays out. Heading into game number 3, the deciding game of round number 2. Alright, Devotee into Leopard is a curve out with a current to blow up their own card, and we have perfect mana for anything we draw in the whole deck, so that's a keep. Voice of Victory into Leopard now. Unless they play the island, we know they have Dispelling Exhale in their deck. They go for Temur Monument though, so Voice of Victory certainly resolves. May get Molten Exhaled the next turn, but yeah. Martyr Devotee is a great draw. Scry out of any more lands. Have even better mana. Okay, the 4/3 is annoying. I can defibrillate that to get damage in early here, which is pretty important. Defibrillate Jam for 3, or wait here. We know one of their removal spells requires them to have a creature on board, so I think I'm just going to get this creature off the board immediately. Because we know they have the double a creature's power and then fight spell in their deck. I'm going to have to kill it eventually regardless. The big argument for just playing another creature there is then I kill it next turn and then jam, I get more damage in over the course of the 2 turns. Hold all their mana up? That is pretty awful for them when I have Voice of Victory on board. Now they just do nothing this turn. Feels good to me. Strike 2. Duty Beyond Death lets us play around the board wipe the Dragon Tempest if they have that. And then Bear of Glory, I've got almost enough mana to cast it and activate in the same turn. That doesn't seem awful. I'll honestly keep it here. Roar of Endless Song. That is a different bomb rare. And not at all what I was hoping for here. Well, still getting a pretty legit attack here. Two mana spell and a 2-mana spell this turn, so I'm playing the tap land. If they have Roar of Endless Song and Dragon Tempest, then alright, you got me. They honestly might have me off of just Roar of Endless Song. Because if they have the removal for Voice of Victory, they are basically stable here. There it is. It's rough. 2 5/5s for 5 mana. Just way too good. Yeah. Alright. Get pretty disappointingly bombed here. I think I have to play Mardu Devotee over Jeskai Devotee to set up the draws. I think Rescue Leopard's enough right now. We're looking for our ways to clear a path or mobilize. Any of our dragons would be incredible here. Fly over the mammoths. I believe our exile card is, yeah, it's exile an artifact or creature only, so it can't exile the enchantment. Jesus. Serpent 2 for extra slow. Hello! Remember what I said was one of our best draws? There it is. Boop. Now they're dead to our 2 damage burn. That was the second best dragon to draw. The best would have been Sonic Shrieker. It would hit them for 2 and be a 4/4 on the board. This Feral also insanely good though. Oh my god. Oh, I can't rebuke the dragon though. I can't rebuke their dragon because of the ward. I would need 7 mana to do that. So I could rebuke a mammoth. Attack all, 1 creature gets in for 1 damage. I put them to 1. They're not dead here. If I go Leopard and Devotee, I work my way towards the go wide lethal. We are forced to trade this dragon into Feral if I want to do that. I don't think that's actually valuable, though. Considering I could just draw into a way to kill that through the ward. Like one of the 3 mana removal spells, the Snare or the Currents. Yeah, we go wide. Try to get an attack in later with 2 more creatures than they have on board. By rebuking something else. 2 mana off from winning off of Rebuke that turn. I was also only 1 mana off from winning off of Bearer of Glory, I think. No, it would have been 2 mana off either way. The 2 mana to pay for the ward on the dragon, or the 2 mana to pay 5 total to activate Bearer of Glory after casting Rebuke. Either of those would have killed them. It's a stressful board, I am sure, for both players. Get the mammoth plus rebuff somebody, I imagine. Rebuff the bear. Yeah, pretty good. It's not going to do anything. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attackers. I could have 5 attackers against 3 blockers, correct? I think was not good enough for opponent. Yeah, removal still kills them. There's the concession from opponent. They knew they were dead already, because math is for blockers. Scary, scary stuff from the Roar of Endless song there, but we still sneak in that lethal off of really, really good draws, just consistently hitting more spells instead of lands in the late game. The Devotee, absolute MVP for sure with the scries going on there. We're 2-0. We have made it to the final boss of this traditional draft on an undefeated record, which means we are competing for the maximum prize out of 2,500 gems, 6 packs, and 2 play-in points. All the money on the line here. Really huge prize out if we can win this final battle. All right, here we are for the final round. We have won the first couple here, so big prizes on the line. This is a very risky keep. If we draw any land, we get to start jamming down Rescue Leopards, which isn't bad, but I need white and black mana for Sonic Shrieker. I need white for Bearer of Glory. Kind of our one loss today was keeping a risky hand like this. I think this deck certainly has potential to draw much better 6 than this 7. I go for the mulligan here. This is not a much better 6. This is a pretty comparable 6, though. So this hand's basically just as risky as our opening hand, but we can't really afford to mull down to a 5-card hand to try to mitigate that risk here. That's just a little too far behind on card advantage to have much of a shot. Alright, probably a 4 or 5 color here, yep. 5 color dragons, so they're hoping to have strong enough bombs in late game and stuff to just crush us in the end. And we are hoping to curve out really aggressively. Sand's the best we could hope for that. It's a little bit faster than our 7-card hand was. Okay. Don't like trading Voice of Victory into the Strike Master. I'll have 3 attacking creatures, which allows me to static snare for just 2. Snare this Strike Master, I suppose. Channel Dragonfire, though, is a really good draw to just deal with it like that. Got the mana for all this stuff, so I think I keep both of these, honestly. Yeah, I think so. Now they could tap the Strike Master to harmonize the Dragonfire instead of holding it up on blocks. Ah! This is the literal best uncommon against Boros aggro. You never want to see this from the 5-color opponent. It is... I don't think I've ever won a game as Boros against our opponent Dragonstorming. With the teaming Dragonstorm. It's just an absolute nightmare. They double block Voice and we static snare one of the 2/2s. Or they don't block Voice, that's fine too. Okay. Do I not static snare one then? I think I still static snare. Because I can't do anything else this turn. I don't have the leopard mana. And I didn't cast Effigy anyway. Yep, that's how they get you. Here comes just any common dragon. There's a million other 2/2s. And they're at like 16 here still. I guess a little worse than that. They're at 14. Still way too high to break through when they have 3 2/2s now. All right, we have a couple different ways to try to win this game. And they all involve drawing the right cards. We can try to get flyers. We've got the 3 big dragons for that. We can try to find Duty Beyond Death for 1 really big attack and then +1/+1 counter on everybody, kill all the 2/2s. Or I think those are the two main outs here: Duty Beyond Death or the flyers. I think that's about it. Which means that our main chance to win the best of 3 is for them to just not draw Dragonstorm in the other 2 games. Like, if it weren't for this teaming Dragonstorm, like, they might even just be dead by now with just a Strike Master, a Dawnbreaker. If this was just like a 2-mana 2/1 or something. Some random filler, another Roamer's Routine or something. But that card has just been absolutely astronomical here. Still 1 mana away from using Bearer of Glory to actually clear out 2 2/2s with 1 creature. And I remain 1 mana away from that. There's the win con. Karakit Guardian, pick up the Dragonstorm, have even more 2/2s on blocks. I'm 1 mana away from this dragon, and even if I hit it, it doesn't break through the Karakit Guardian. I need to draw a red source to even try to trade with it. I still think this is better than casting the flush out, though. It's one of those games that makes me wish that Magic were like a MOBA or something where you get to ban a certain character in the future rounds. Each player gets to pick 1 card that's banned in the next rounds. You ban Teaming Dragonstorm, and then I can win this game easy. They get to ban, I don't know, Martyr Devotee probably. Maybe Voice of Victory would be their choice. Okay. Show me to counter, I guess. At least get a little more information on their deck. If they do have the counter, they don't. Surprising. Well, all in on the feral flying damage, I guess. Five hits in the sky, though. There's like no shot that is going to happen. Alright, show me some insane combat trick, I guess. Oh, they got the counterspell now? Maybe? Is this the Flash Dragon? 4/3 Flash Dragon? If so, you got me. It's the Millage Dragon for Dragonstorm. Oh no, it's a Rebuke, okay. Also pretty gnarly. Wayfarer. Yeah, I'm looking at every other card they've cast here, and it's like... It's just Teaming Dragonstorm that we have to dodge. We can win through a Karakit Guardian or a Dragon Hunter or something. We just cannot win through Teaming Dragonstorm. thing can't block, so I have to just hope to trade into Wayfarer here. Nice. Oh, less nice. Okay. That's cute. Yeah, they had a Stormshaper on it. It just literally doesn't matter. Even if we pre-combated the Dragonfire. Alright. Very coin flippy matchup. They draw Teeming Dragonstorm and we lose, or they don't and we win. Gotta win the coin flip twice in a row now, though. Losing it on the first one. Yeah, this is gonna be rough. Rough final boss here. Certainly a difficult one, but do everything in my power. But I think this is mainly just a draw-dependent kind of round rather than a particularly play-dependent round where we can really, like, outplay them particularly well. Like, see, like, this hand looks awesome. It can get a whole lot of work done. It's not going to involve me playing particularly well. Like, I just curve out. It's just what it is. There's not going to be a lot of tension between, like, killing something or not. Or anything like that. It's like, just jam the stuff out. Just do the things. I do think our Haster would have been fine there. But the mana is really, really valuable with Sonic Shrieker coming up, so I'm going to ditch it towards drawing the mana quicker. Land, Breaching Dragonstorm. So it depends how much they want to block with this, but I assume they're going to pick up a land. They sure do. Okay, that is the 5th land that we need for Sonic Shrieker. So now we're hoping to draw any spell for next turn. Sharpshooter's a slightly annoying blocker, but Voice of Victory can still get in. God dang it. So, we should have kept the little haste thing. It would have played better. But you can't know exactly what you're going to draw. The risk of not getting Sonic Shrieker soon is pretty high. Teamer Tawny back, draw a card, discard a card. They're stuck on mana right now, so they're looking for a 4th land. Did not have any Harmonize in their hand to discard there, that's nice. Okay. Because of the 4/3 on the ground here, there's just not a lot of value to be gained in killing the 1/1 Wayfarer. Really. So I think we're just making them discard a card here and dealing a little more damage to them. Card of a Riling Dawnbreaker. Okay, that means the hand's really good. They're only 1 mana away from that as a flying blocker. I guess it's not big enough to block Sonic Shrieker, but they can double block with it. Come on. The strongest white rare in the whole set. Higher win rate than even Voice of Victory. Well, I lied. I guess we can lose the bomb rares too, but we didn't see any game 1. Alright, well, you got me. Just the wrong matchup to be in there. 2-1 will be the final record for this deck. Certainly a disappointing ending. I think this deck was capable of winning all the rounds here, but not with that matchup in the end. That deck was really, really well positioned against Mardu aggro, with the Teeming Dragonstorm game being basically free, and then Sage of the Skies just being bonkers busted as a card in general. Here's another look at the deck. Pretty happy with how I drafted today. Obviously, with like perfect hindsight, if I just immediately hopped on Boros, we would have had an even better deck that could maybe even win that final round, even in that matchup. But I think we drafted really, really reasonably, and I'm happy that I stayed open enough to the idea of pivoting here, that even when I was going like from the start for a big 5-color kind of dragon deck, when I realized that we just weren't getting any of the really important cards for that deck, but we were seeing decent aggro cards, I'm happy that I went for the Mardu aggro pivot. I think it ended up with a much better deck than if we had just stuck to 5-color from the get-go the whole draft through. So yeah, drafted pretty well. There wasn't much to say about the gameplay. I don't think we did anything super well or super poorly. It's kind of self-explanatory gameplay when it's aggro against 4 or 5-color. It's just hope to outrace them before they play the big spell. And we did it twice. We did not do it in the final round, though. So 2-1 it will be. Still a reasonable record, still a positive win rate, but these traditional draft queues are pretty top-heavy, so it is always a bummer to lose round 3, because that one is huge prize out. It more than doubles your prize out. You go from 1,000 gems in 3 packs to 2,500 gems in 6 packs. So again, like all things considered, if this were like a best of 1 draft and whatever, and I just lost 1 game to that final deck, like it is what it is. It happens, but it is a much bigger bummer in traditional draft, because I'm like, oh, all I can feel is those 1,500 gems just flying away from me there with how that game ended. 2-1 is our final record for today. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send me some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. And other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.